The impact Our Daily Bread has on our community reaches far and wide, including providing breakfast for the students at Marco Island Academy. For the past 2 years, Our Daily Bread Food Pantry has received grant funding that supports the Healthy Kids School Supplemental Food Program, which supplies weekly breakfast items to the school. Each delivery includes items such as 2 boxes of cereal, 3 boxes of muffins, crates of white and chocolate milk, breakfast bars, occasional hot sandwiches and breakfast burritos, a case of orange juice, and 2 crates of Welch's juice. They provide enough food to feed the entire staff and student body for the week, with the delivery truck arriving every Tuesday morning. Welcome to Beneath Marco's Waves, where Marco's past rises to the surface. I'm Bella Groves, the arts editor here at The Wave.
And I'm Alina Wynn, the managing editor. And in today's Thanksgiving special, we're exploring the history and heart of one of our island's most impactful organizations, Our Daily Bread Food Pantry. We are here with our lovely Evelyn Rosetti-Ryan. Please introduce yourself to our listeners and let them know what your role is at the food pantry.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for inviting me to join you today. I'm honored to be here and to share a bit of our story. I am Evelyn Rosetti-Ryan, and I am the executive director of Our Daily Bread Food Pantry. I want to add that up until about 2 months ago, I was the sole employee of this major organization. For many, many years, this organization was founded by volunteers, and to this day is still a volunteer-powered organization. So when I first got to the pantry, I was the one and only employee.
Wow. As Thanksgiving approaches, we're taking time to reflect on gratitude, service, and community. Our Daily Bread has been feeding local families and strengthening Marco Island for years, and today we'll learn about how it all began, how it's grown, and the legacy it continues to build.
To get started, please share the origins of Our Daily Bread. When and why was it founded here on Marco Island?
So that's an incredible story, and it really goes back to girl power, women power, right? There are 5 women friends who used to go to the same church together, and one day, one of the friends in the group said, I was talking with a teacher friend of mine, and she shared with Daily Bread Food Pantry started in 2016 by these 5 women who wanted to address childhood hunger on Marco Island. We actually started as a mission of family church here on the island. So in the very beginning, we're a church mission. We existed solely on donated food. But that first year, we fed over 360 kids and their families.
That's awesome.
Wow. What was the community like then?
The community was very giving, very caring, and very compassionate. That was 10 years ago. We started in January 9th of 2016. And the community came together in 2 ways. One way was to express need. If somebody needed our support, we were there to give them that hand up. But there are many people who were there offering that hand, to offer that food and offer that encouragement and hope. So we quickly grew from having one closet of donated food to a closet and a couple of rooms of donated food to having a full-fledged choice pantry. And I can explain what that is. That's when people come in and can choose what they'd like. But they gave an opportunity for our guests and neighbors to really form a close relationship with our volunteers. And many, many, many of our volunteers live on Marco Island. So Marco is a very compassionate and caring and giving community. Strong friendships were formed. And many of folks who were guests also became volunteers with us.
Well, a lot of people don't realize just how much history lies beneath the surface of organizations like yours. Could you tell us about the early volunteers or founding members who played a major role in getting Our Daily Bread started?
Happy to do so. So as I shared, there were 5 women who got us started. And there's still one of our founders today who serves on our board and is very, very actively involved. And even when I joined the pantry 2 years ago, another one of the founders was still incredibly actively involved. All of the women still care very much about it. And again, that sense of caring, compassion, and offering food, encouragement, and hope has carried forth. It has carried forth throughout our 10 years and has carried forth from when we even transitioned from being a mission into 2019 when we became an independent nonprofit organization. Marco Island has always been, continues to be a very caring community.
So you mentioned about how it started small. Did you guys do food drives or weekly distributions, or how did people know that you guys had food?
A lot of it was through word of mouth and working through local community networks, but we quickly grew. So initially it was all donated food. And then slowly people started to do food drives and donate more food. But as our numbers grew with households, we also had to start purchasing food, but that was a couple of years down the road. And now it's a combination, right? So you might go into a local shop and see our yellow bin there and inviting people to donate food. You might go to church on Sunday. They might be doing a food drive for us with the holidays especially. You might go into a residential community and have folks doing a special drive for food. So it continues to be a very generous community and one that's invested in the health and well-being of its neighbors.
I feel like with our little island, like everyone's so close to word of mouth. Word of mouth is like so important because like that's how everything gets spread.
Absolutely.
Were there any expansions, partnerships, or challenges that really shaped where you guys are today with the new building?
Well, so much. So we've grown so much over 10 years, as I shared. We started with about 360 kids and their families that very first year. Well, just a few years down the road, we fed over 6,700 families.
Wow.
Now, that was through recurring visits, but what's important about that is it represents real people coming in for real food that we were distributing. Once we got past Hurricane Ian, for folks who all remember Hurricane Ian and how devastating that was to so many, and with COVID hitting on the heels of that as well, we had, or right before that and all around that time, so our numbers then went from about 6,700 to over 30,000 households. Wow. Again, recurring visits, but also representing real food. So there were certain challenges and occurrences, some natural like the hurricanes and unfortunately COVID that impacted so many people that gave rise to the numbers of people who needed our services. On the positive side of that, we were able to receive donated food or resources or investments from our community that enabled us to provide that nourishment and that the food encouragement and hope. We work really closely with a lot of our islands organizations and our counties organizations. So those partnerships have been really important to us and really valuable to us. And we continue to build and strengthen those partnerships today, whether it's with NCH or with Baby Basics or the Alliance for Period Supplies or the Marco Island Center for the Arts or the Historical Society. We partner with a wide range of organizations.
Wow. Could you share a bit about how your mission has stayed the same throughout the years, even as the community's needs have changed?
Absolutely. Everyone always needs food, encouragement, and hope. So if there is one message that folks take away today, it is about that food, encouragement, and hope and giving folks a hand up. What we see here at the food pantry is that many of the individuals, many of the households who utilize our pantry are working people, and they just need that extra bit of help to get through. So that's something I think that remains true throughout.
Mm-hmm.
As we celebrate Thanksgiving, many of us think about family, meals, and gratitude. What does Thanksgiving mean to Our Daily Bread and the people you serve?
Well, every day we give thanks for the blessing of being able to serve our community, to strengthen our community, and to contribute to our community's health and well-being. I think those messages are really highlighted during the holiday season, especially during Thanksgiving season. And again, we just feel blessed to be here and be able to serve.
Yeah. We just had an event on, this past Saturday at the middle school in the gym, with, like, packing all the oatmeal and stuff. Yeah, it was beautiful to see, like, all the people together, all in one room, helping people in need. It's just so, like, awesome to see everyone get together on the island to help people.
Absolutely. This is an amazing island and very, very compassionate place.
And there's a saying that we put on the back of our cheer fundraising shirts. It says, "It takes an island." And I really, really like that quote because it does. It really takes an island to do anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, everyone has to come together and just give what they need, you know?
And you can see the compassion in everyone's hearts. After every box was packed, everyone started cheering. It's so, it's so funny.
That's amazing. Yeah, this is an amazing, amazing island, and it does take an island for sure.
Yeah. Well, as we come to a close, what are you most thankful for this year, personally and as a part of Our Daily Bread?
Well, I'm very thankful to be here and to be able to do what I'm doing and serve in the capacity in which I serve. And for Our Daily Bread, I am just so thankful that we were able to move to our permanent home at 1818 San Marco Road and be a resource for people who truly need us, and to work together to make our community a better place.
Could I ask why you guys moved to a different location?
Absolutely. So we continue to grow over those 10 years, and Family Church was very gracious and generous and a wonderful host partner for us, but they too were growing and we were growing, so we needed a permanent home of our own.
How did you guys get to go to that new location? Was it
There were-
by raising like donations or?
There was a team of people who knew we needed a permanent home and looked to find a home. And again, another blessing in our lives is there was this wonderful building that had been a bank that was just sitting there empty, and it was for sale. And thanks to very generous donors, Pat and Scott Kaufman, they enabled us to be able to purchase our permanent home.
Oh, that's
Wow.
beautiful.
And then we had several investors who, along the way, also invested in us and helped us accomplish our dream.
Wow. If you could leave our listeners with one message about community, compassion, or gratitude, what would it be?
Please practice all of the above and be mindful of all the above, and no act of kindness is too small.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing the inspiring history of Our Daily Bread.
You're most welcome. Well, thank you for having me.
Of course.
And
My
thank you for
pleasure.
our listeners for tuning in to Beneath Marco's Waves, where Marco's past rises to the surface. We hope today's conversation reminds you of the power of giving back and the deep roots of kindness right here on Marco Island.
Happy Thanksgiving!